Hi everyone, this is Patty at the Jesuit Retreat Center, and with me today is Dr. Pat Campbell. She is both a retreat leader here and also a spiritual director at the center. Welcome, Pat. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Great. Can you tell us a little bit about your background?
I'd be glad to. I have a family here in Los Altos, and I have worked for many years as a psychologist with families and children and so forth, and have recently retired. And so I spend more time at the Jesuit Retreat Center.
How did you discover the Jesuit Retreat Center to begin with?
I live right down the hill, and so somehow I found out about a Mass that Father Bernie Bush had every morning at 7 o'clock. And there was a small community that came to the center for Mass, and we did that for years and years with Father, and it was a great way to start the morning, start the day.
I think you mentioned you've been coming here for about 30 years, which is very impressive. And then I understand you went through the Pierre Fabre program. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, the Fabre program again was with Father Bernie. He seems to be instrumental in my life. And it was a 3-year program that was fabulously rich. I had a lot of academic material, of course, with Father Bush and background and study. A lot of companionship with other people in the program as we learned together about the spiritual exercises of St. Ignatius and how to apply them in daily life, and then how to use them with other people. And in that program we did an internship, and eventually after 3 years we finished. And at that point I did the spiritual exercises with individuals and then also with groups. Up at Mercy Burlingame up north, did groups there, and then down at the Institute of Leadership in Ministry, which is a program of the Diocese of San Jose. So I've had a lot of experience with that, and then recently have done the just general spiritual direction with people here at JRC, as well as doing the more concentrated and directed spiritual exercises with individuals.
One thing I would be interested in hearing about is what's been your experience in terms of people who go through spiritual direction? How is it changing their lives?
I think with spiritual direction, in particular with the spiritual exercises of St. Ignatius, is that they learn about their relationship with God in ways that they didn't expect. And so they have an idea of what spiritual direction is going to be, of what they're coming for and what they're going to get, how it's all going to go, as we often do with so many things in our lives. And then when they actually get here, they find out what God has in mind for them, which is most often far different from what they themselves thought. So if they thought they might be working on a terrible problem they had in the family or something like that, instead they find themselves working on an area of their lives they had not even considered. And through that, they find their relationship with God. That's what it actually is finding their relationship with God more deeply and more intimately. And then in doing that, they find out more about themselves, who they are, how they are with God, how they are with other people. And I often find the keynote in that is an element of surprise, that at some point they will say in some ways of how surprised they are that they're talking about this, that they're exploring this, that their life has gone in this way. And so they find themselves, they find God speaking to them in this way, and God leading them in paths that they hadn't thought to take, and in directions that they hadn't thought. And because of this opening and this discovering and becoming, they're able to bring back to the world their own gifts and talents in ways that maybe they hadn't expected. And so then the world benefits. So it's really a circular pattern that I have witnessed with them. And my role is just to go with them and to walk with them as they move along on this path. So very, very different journeys and different paths, but always the same process of finding God.
Dr. Patricia, thank you so much for joining us today. That was amazing. And once again, we're finding that what we think is true here at the Retreat Center, that retreats change lives, that you have found that as well. So thanks for joining us.
You're very welcome.
Okay.